In the year 1966, the United States was a nation in the midst of rapid change both culturally and economically. The Washington $quarter coin minted in this period stands as an intriguing piece of numismatic history, and when we speak about the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter, we are looking into a coin that tells a story far beyond its silver-colored surface. This coin was born in the mid-1960s during an era when coinage itself was undergoing a dramatic transformation. The Washington quarter had first appeared in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington. The design by John Flanagan featured the bust of Washington on the obverse and the American bald eagle on the reverse. For decades, the quarter was struck in 90% silver with 10% copper, giving it both beauty and intrinsic value. But in 1965, a major shift occurred. The rising price of silver made it impractical for the United States Mint to continue producing circulating coins from precious metal. As a result, the Coinage Act of 1965 mandated that dimes and quarters would no longer contain silver. Instead, they would be composed of a copper-nickel clad composition over a pure copper core. This change meant that by the time the 1966 Washington quarters were produced, they were part of the very early years of this new clad era. One notable feature of the 1966 quarter is the absence of a mint mark. At that time, the United States Mint was not placing mint marks on any coins regardless of where they were struck. This was done intentionally to discourage coin hoarding during the coin shortage of the mid-1960s. Therefore, whether a quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, or the San Francisco Mint, it would appear without a mint mark. This makes the 1966 quarter part of a unique period in United States coinage history when identifying a coin's origin from its physical markings alone was not possible. From a visual perspective, the 1966 quarter maintained the familiar portrait of George Washington facing left on the obverse, his hair tied back in a queue, his expression stern yet noble. The inscriptions included the word liberty across the top, the motto "I in God we trust" to the left of Washington's profile, and the date 1966 centered along the bottom. On the reverse, the heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath filled the center of the design. The legend United States of America arched above with the denomination $quarter along the bottom. The motto E pluribus unum rested just above the eagle's head. While hundreds of millions of 1966 quarters were minted, the value of an individual coin can vary dramatically depending on condition, rarity of certain die varieties, and collector demand. In circulated condition, most 1966 quarters are worth only their face value due to their common nature. However, pristine examples in uncirculated grades can fetch higher prices, particularly those that have been graded by reputable services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. Coins that display exceptional strike quality, vibrant luster, and absence of contact marks can sell for significant sums to discerning collectors. What makes the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter especially interesting today is the existence of certain high-grade examples and rare errors that have sold for astonishing amounts in numismatic auctions. Some error varieties include double die obverse, double die reverses, off-center strikes, and coins struck on silver planchets left over from pre-1965 production. The latter are extremely rare since by 1966 almost all silver planchets had been removed from minting operations. Nonetheless, a few slipped through, and when authenticated, such coins can command very high prices in the realm of high-grade business strike coins. The top population examples, those graded at the very highest levels such as Mint State 68, or Mint State 69, can be extremely valuable because so few survive in such perfect condition. Collectors compete fiercely for these top-grade specimens, and this competition drives prices upward. There have been reports of some pristine 1966 quarters reaching values in the tens of thousands of dollars, and in extraordinary cases the market value can climb even higher for the rarest and most flawless examples. The current estimated market value has been recorded at an astonishing $64,834. This valuation reflects not only the rarity of such a coin in that state of preservation, but also the strong demand among serious numismatists for top-quality examples from the early clad era. It is worth remembering that the coin collecting community places immense value on historical context. A coin like the 1966 quarter tells a story about the United States in the mid-1960s. The decision to remove silver from circulation marked the end of an era. The lack of mint marks from 1965 to 1967 was a unique moment in minting policy, and the introduction of copper nickel-clad coinage represented a technological and economic shift in the production of money. Every time a collector holds a 1966 quarter in their hand, they are touching a piece of that history. For those who hope to find a valuable 1966 quarter in circulation today, the odds are slim, but not impossible. Coins can remain in pockets, drawers, and change jars for decades before resurfacing. Many casual finders have been surprised to discover that a coin they thought was ordinary had special qualities that made it highly desirable to collectors. The best approach for someone interested in searching for valuable coins is to learn how to identify key characteristics. This includes studying strike quality, looking for error features, and being familiar with the grading scale used in numismatics. Even slight differences in the sharpness of detail or the condition of the coin can mean the difference between a quarter worth 25 cents and one worth thousands of dollars. Grading plays an essential role in determining the value of the 1966 quarter. Coins in lower circulated grades show visible wear with loss of detail on Washington's hair, and the eagle's feathers. Mid-grade coins may retain more detail but exhibit light contact marks or dull luster. In the highest uncirculated grades, the coin's surfaces are pristine with sharp detail, blazing luster, and no noticeable flaws. Professional grading companies use magnification to examine each coin carefully before assigning a numerical grade on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. The closer to 70 the grade, the higher the value. Collectors also consider eye appeal, which is the overall visual attractiveness of a coin. Two coins with the same numerical grade can vary in market value depending on their luster, toning, and strike quality. For example, a 1966 quarter with vibrant rainbow toning might attract more bids at auction than an identical grade coin with a dull appearance. Another factor in the coin's desirability is its place in the series. The mid-1960s no mint mark years are sought after by collectors assembling date and type sets of Washington quarters. The 1966 issue is the second year of the clad era and is also part of the transitional period without mint marks. This combination adds to its numismatic significance and explains why top quality examples are so aggressively pursued for those wishing to preserve the value of their 1966 quarter. It is important to store it properly. Coins should be kept in a dry, cool environment, ideally in holders that do not contain PVC, which can damage surfaces over time. Direct handling should be avoided, and if the coin must be touched, it should be held by the edges to prevent fingerprints and oils from affecting its luster. The journey of the 1966 Washington quarter from a piece of everyday change to a prized collectible worth over $64,000 in its finest form is a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics. It demonstrates how history, artistry, economics, and collector passion intersect in the world of coin collecting. This coin is more than metal, it is a window into a pivotal moment in American history and a reminder that even the most common-looking coin can hold extraordinary value if it survives in exceptional condition. In the year 1980, the United States Mint was continuing a tradition that had been in place for decades, the striking of the Washington quarter dollar coin. The Washington quarter had first been introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of the first President of the United States, George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter, which had been in circulation since 1916 and quickly became a staple of American coinage. By 1980, this design had been in production for nearly half a century, and the minting process had evolved with changes in materials technology and national economics. The 1980 P Mint Mark Washington quarter holds a special place in the history of American coins. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which was the first United States mint facility established in 1792 and the main production center for a large portion of circulating coinage. For many years, quarters produced in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all, but in 1980 a new policy required the inclusion of the P Mint mark on quarters. This change was a significant moment for collectors because it marked the very first year that the Philadelphia Mint marked its quarters with the letter P. This small letter, positioned on the obverse of the coin just to the right of Washington's ponytail, gave the 1980 P quarter a place in numismatic history. The obverse design of the 1980 P Washington quarter features a left-facing portrait of George Washington sculpted by John Flanagan, who based his work on Jean-Antoine Houdon's famous bust of Washington. The word Liberty is boldly inscribed above Washington's head, and the national motto "In God We Trust" is placed to the left. The year 1980 is positioned directly below the portrait. On the reverse of the coin is the powerful heraldic eagle design, also created by John Flanagan. The eagle with wings spread sits on a bundle of arrows with two olive branches beneath. Symbolizing a balance of strength and peace, the words United States of America arc across the top, and the denomination $quarter appears at the bottom. The phrase E pluribus unum is inscribed between the eagle and the word America, reminding the public of the motto meaning out of many one. The composition of the 1980 P Washington quarter is copper-nickel clad with an inner core of pure copper and outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This composition was first adopted in 1965 when silver was removed from circulating quarters due to rising silver prices. The clad design allowed the mint to produce quarters more cost-effectively while still giving them the silvery appearance the public was accustomed to. In 1980, millions of quarters were struck for circulation, but not all coins survived in pristine condition over the decades, and that is where the story of rarity and value begins. The vast majority of 1980 P Washington quarters found in pocket change today are worn from years of use and have little value beyond their face denomination. However, a tiny fraction of these coins were struck under perfect conditions and have been preserved without ever entering circulation. These high-grade examples, known as mint state or MS coins, are the ones sought after by collectors. The value of a coin depends heavily on its condition, with higher grades commanding dramatically higher prices. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a 70-point scale, with MS 60 being the lowest uncirculated grade and MS 70 being a flawless coin. In the case of the 1980 P Washington quarter, finding one in MS 68 or higher is incredibly rare. Over the years, coin auctions have revealed just how much collectors are willing to pay for the finest examples of this coin. A record-setting 1980 P Washington quarter graded at an exceptionally high level sold for an astounding $39,745. This price was driven by the combination of historical significance, being the first year of the P mint mark on a quarter, the stunning preservation of the coin, and strong demand from serious numismatists. Such a sale is a reminder that even modern coins from the late 20th century can achieve remarkable value when rarity and quality intersect. Understanding why such coins become valuable requires a deeper look into the minting process. Even in modern high-speed minting operations, minor variations can occur. The quality of the blank planchet, the precision of the die strike, and the condition of the dies themselves all affect the final product. A perfectly centered strike with sharp details, no visible contact marks, and an attractive original luster is much harder to achieve than most people realize. While millions of 1980 P quarters were produced, only a microscopic fraction meet these standards and survive untouched for decades. Collectors of Washington quarters appreciate the 1980 P issue not just for its role in marking a new era with the Philadelphia Mint mark, but also for the challenge it represents in building a complete high-grade set. Many Washington quarter collections span the entire series from 1932 through the modern state quarter program, and the 1980 P often serves as a key modern date in top condition. The difficulty of finding one without blemishes adds to its allure. To put the rarity into perspective, imagine looking through thousands of bank-wrapped rolls of quarters. Each roll contains 40 coins, which means you would need to examine tens of thousands of coins to have even a slim chance of finding one that might grade MS 68 or higher. The odds are so low that most collectors choose to acquire such coins through specialized dealers or auction houses rather than searching change in circulation. Yet stories still circulate in the hobby community of lucky individuals who discover mint state coins in old collections or forgotten hoards. In addition to condition, there are other factors that can influence the value of a 1980 P Washington quarter. Certain error varieties can add significant premiums. Errors might include doubled dies, where elements of the design are duplicated due to die misalignment, off-center strikes where the design is not properly centered on the planchet, or coins struck on the wrong type of planchet altogether. These mint errors are rare and are highly collectible on their own. In the case of the 1980 P quarter, major errors in high grade can fetch prices far beyond even the already impressive $39,740. $5 record. The popularity of Washington quarters has only grown over the years, partly due to the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999, which brought millions of new casual collectors into the hobby. Many of these new enthusiasts became interested in earlier issues, including those from the 1980s. The appeal of the Washington quarter lies in its elegant design, its connection to American history, and the thrill of the hunt for valuable examples. The 1980 P stands out as a coin that bridges the gap between older classic issues and modern commemorative designs today. The 1980p Washington Quarter continues to be a coin that inspires fascination among collectors and historians alike. Its combination of historical firsts, minting artistry, and the potential for extraordinary value makes it a prime example of why coin collecting endures as a rewarding pursuit, whether displayed in a museum, showcased in a private collection, or carefully stored in a protective holder. The finest examples of this coin represent a tangible piece of history preserved in metal. For those who wish to own one of these treasures, the journey often begins with education, learning how to grade coins, how to identify original surfaces, and how to spot signs of cleaning or alteration is essential to making wise purchases. Collectors also need to be aware of market trends, as the value of rare coins can fluctuate over time depending on economic conditions and collector demand. Reputable dealers' coin shows and online auction platforms are the primary venues where top-grade 1980p Washington Quarters appear for sale. The story of the 1980p Washington Quarter is ultimately a story about the intersection of history, craftsmanship, and the human desire to preserve beauty and rarity. From its introduction during a period of change in U.S. minting policy to its status as a highly coveted modern rarity, this coin embodies the enduring appeal of numismatics. The fact that a small disc of copper nickel struck more than 4 decades ago can be worth nearly $40,000 is a testament to the passion and dedication of collectors worldwide. In conclusion, the 1980p Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar is more than just a piece of change. It is a milestone in minting history, a work of art in miniature, and for a fortunate few a significant financial asset. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or a newcomer to the hobby, the story of this coin offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of rare and valuable coins, and it serves as a reminder that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places, even in the change you hold in your hand today. The story of the 1988 Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar coin is one that begins in the heart of the United States Mint's history and stretches back to the early decades of the 20th century when the Washington Quarter was first conceived. To understand the value and significance of the 1988 Mint Mark Quarter, we must first explore the origins of the Washington Quarter itself, because without knowing where it came from and why it was designed, the rarity and market appeal of this coin today cannot be fully appreciated. The Washington Quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin was meant to replace the standing Liberty Quarter, and the design featured a left-facing profile of George Washington based on the famous bust sculpted by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The obverse carried the simple but bold image of the first president, while the reverse carried a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and an olive branch symbolizing both strength and peace. This design would remain in use for decades with only minor adjustments, and it became one of the most recognizable pieces of United States coinage. By the time the year 1988 arrived, the Washington Quarter had already seen more than 50 years of circulation and countless strikes at various mint facilities. The Denver Mint, which is represented by the D Mint mark on coins, had been responsible for producing billions of quarters over the years. The 1988 D Mint Mark Washington Quarter was struck primarily in copper nickel-clad composition, which was the standard since 1965, when silver was removed from circulating quarters due to rising metal costs. However, despite being a modern clad coin, certain examples from 1988 have captured the attention of collectors due to their exceptional condition, their striking errors, and their extremely rare high-grade status. When we talk about the 1988 D Washington Quarter in terms of collectability, we must focus on several factors. The first factor is mintage. In 1988, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters, which means that finding a basic circulated example is not difficult. You can often find these coins in pocket change to this very day. But finding one in pristine uncirculated condition, especially one graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services, is a completely different challenge. Only a very small number of these coins have survived in such flawless condition that they command incredible prices in the open market. The second factor is condition rarity. Coins are graded on a numerical scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect flawless coin. The majority of 1988 D quarters in circulation have wear marks, scratches, and surface damage from decades of handling. but those that were preserved from the moment of striking, kept in protective packaging or mint sets, and never touched by human hands, have the potential to achieve grades like MS68 or even MS69, and this is where the real value lies. The third factor is errors and varieties. The Denver Mint, like all mints, has had occasional production errors that slip through quality control. Some 1988 decorders exhibit double die features, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, or other unusual anomalies that make them highly desirable to collectors. These errors are rare, and when combined with superb condition, the result can be a coin worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Now let us dive into the market history of this coin. While a typical circulated 1988 decorder might only be worth its face value of 25 cents, certain gem uncirculated or error specimens have sold for astounding sums at auction. Over the years, prices for top quality examples have steadily increased as collectors recognize the difficulty of finding such coins. One of the most notable sales involved a pristine mint state 1988 D Washington quarter graded at the absolute top of the scale, which sold for a staggering $67,789. This price shocked many casual observers because they could not imagine a modern clad quarter commanding such a sum, but seasoned numismatists understood the rarity of the coin's perfection. Why would a collector pay such a high amount for a coin that originally had no silver content and was minted in such large quantities? The answer lies in the principle of supply and demand combined with the prestige of owning a top pop coin. Top pop refers to a coin that is the finest known example for its date and mint mark. When there are only a handful of coins in existence at that level of quality, the competition among serious collectors can drive prices into the stratosphere. Owning the best known example is a matter of pride and investment potential for these collectors, and they are willing to bid aggressively to secure it. The 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter also holds an interesting place in American coinage history because it represents a period of transition. In the late 1980s, the United States Mint was refining its minting technology, improving die preparation, and experimenting with slightly different finishes for proof and mint set coins. This means that certain 1988 decorders exhibit sharper details and more lustrous surfaces than others. When these enhanced strikes are preserved perfectly, they can be breathtaking to behold under magnification, showing every feather in the eagle's wings and every hair in Washington's portrait with crystal clarity. For collectors, the hunt for a perfect 1988 decorder can be a long and challenging journey. Many start by examining mint sets from 1988 purchased from estate sales or old collections. Others search through bulk coin rolls obtained from banks or coin dealers, hoping to spot that one coin that somehow avoided the ravages of circulation. The thrill of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive. Even if you never find a top-graded example, the process of searching teaches you about the artistry and history of United States coinage. From an investment perspective, the 1988 decorder in top grade has proven to be a strong performer. Over the past 2 decades, the value of the highest grade examples has generally risen, outpacing inflation and attracting attention from investors outside the traditional coin collecting world. These investors see rare coins as tangible assets that can diversify a portfolio, much like fine art, rare stamps, or vintage automobiles. Of course, investing in coins requires knowledge and careful selection because not every coin will appreciate in value, but for those who focus on the finest known examples, the potential rewards can be substantial. The cultural significance of the Washington quarter should not be overlooked either. As a coin that has been in circulation for generations, it is a familiar object to millions of Americans. It carries the image of the nation's founding father and serves as a daily reminder of the country's heritage. For those who grew up in the 1980s, the 1988 decorder may also evoke personal memories from childhood, whether it was receiving one as change at a corner store or saving quarters to play arcade games. This nostalgic connection adds another layer to its appeal for certain collectors. In conclusion, the story of the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter-dollar coin is one of contrast. On one hand, it is a common modern clad coin that can still be found in circulation, worth only its face value in most cases. On the other hand, in the rarest, highest grade conditions, it transforms into a coveted treasure capable of fetching nearly $68,000 at auction. This dramatic difference in value underscores the importance of condition, rarity, and collector demand in the world of numismatics. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, the 1988 D quarter serves as a perfect example of how even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value when preserved in perfect form. So the next time you find a quarter in your pocket, take a moment to look closely, because you never know when you might be holding a small piece of history worth far more than you ever imagine. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and sought-after pieces in modern American coinage history, the 1996 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This coin may look like an ordinary 25-cent piece to the casual observer, but for numismatists, collectors, and history enthusiasts it represents a rich blend of artistry, economic history, and the rare chance to own a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. As we peel back the layers of its history, you will see how a quarter minted in Denver in 1996 could be worth an astounding $80,725 in the current collector's market. The Washington quarter itself has a long and storied past. The series began in 1932 as a commemoration of the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The obverse of the coin features the now iconic profile of the first president of the United States. His image was carefully modeled to reflect strength, dignity, and the timeless leadership qualities for which Washington was known. The reverse of the Washington quarter for many decades displayed an eagle with outstretched wings clutching a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing both the readiness to defend freedom and the desire for peace. This design remained largely unchanged from its debut until the late 1990s, making the 1996 D quarter part of the final era before the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999. Inches. 1996 The United States Mint in Denver, Colorado struck millions of Washington quarters. The D Mint mark, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail, indicates its origin from the Denver facility. The Denver Mint is known for high-quality, striking, and durable circulation coins, but not all 1996 D quarters are created equal. While most are common and worth face value in everyday commerce, there are rare examples that stand out due to pristine condition, unusual minting circumstances, or extraordinary errors. What makes certain 1996 D Washington quarters command such incredible prices comes down to a combination of rarity, grade, and collector demand. A standard quarter from that year will be found in millions of pockets and cash drawers, but a coin graded by a professional grading service at the absolute top of the quality scale for circulation strikes can attract fierce bidding wars in auction houses. Imagine a 1996 D quarter with a perfect or near perfect mint state 68 or higher grade. These coins show no signs of wear, possess a sharp strike with full details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and display brilliant luster under magnification. Such coins are the elite survivors from a massive mintage and are nearly impossible to find in circulation today. Another factor that boosts the value of some 1996 D quarters to staggering heights is the presence of minting errors. Mint errors are accidental and can take many forms, including double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or striking on the wrong metal planchet. An error on a coin in pristine condition from 1996 D could make it one of a kind, and collectors will pay top dollar for the opportunity to own something truly unique. There have been examples of coins from the 1990s fetching tens of thousands at auctions simply due to a dramatic and visually striking error. Now let us step back for a moment and consider the broader historical context of 1996. The mid-1990s were a period of economic growth in the United States. The internet was in its infancy. Bill Clinton was president. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was climbing, and people still used cash for most daily transactions. The Washington quarter remained a workhorse of American currency, used in vending machines, payphones, laundromats, and countless transactions. It is remarkable to think that among the countless coins changing hands in 1996, some would go on to become prized treasures worth more than most cars today. For coin collectors, the thrill is in the hunt, searching through rolls of quarters from the bank, attending coin shows, networking with other collectors, and scanning online auction listings are all part of the journey. Every once in a while a collector might stumble upon a coin that appears ordinary, but under the trained eye reveals itself to be extraordinary. That is the dream scenario with the 1996 D Washington quarter. The odds are slim, but the reward can be life-changing. Professional coin grading plays a huge role in establishing and confirming a coin's market value. Organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company have set rigorous standards for evaluating coins. They assess strike quality, luster, coloration, surface preservation, and any unusual characteristics. If a 1990-60 quarter is submitted to one of these services and receives an ultra-high mint state grade combined with high appeal, it immediately moves from pocket change to prized investment. The record auction prices for 1990-60 quarters reflect this combination of rarity and quality. One specimen in absolutely flawless condition with full detail and perfect surfaces sold for an astounding $80,725. This sale stunned many in the coin collecting world, but also served as a reminder that modern coins in exceptional condition can command vintage coin prices. It is important to note that not every 1990-60 quarter will have such a high value. In fact, most will be worth only face value or slightly above. For uncirculated examples found in mint sets, the difference lies in the minute details. Only the sharpest eyes can distinguish a standard quarter from one with extraordinary strike sharpness and flawless surfaces. This is why experienced collectors invest in magnifying tools, coin books, and attend grading seminars. The more you learn about what to look for, the higher your chances of finding a hidden gem. The artistry of the Washington quarter design in 1996 also deserves appreciation. The Flanagan design, while simple, carries with it decades of tradition and symbolism. The fine detail in Washington's hair, the clear lettering, the sharpness of the eagle's feathers all speak to the skill of the engravers and the precision of the minting process. Holding a pristine 1990-60 quarter in hand is not just holding a piece of metal, but holding a piece of American history. Collectors also cherish the story behind the coin. The Denver Mint has been producing coins since 1906 and is one of the largest producers of coinage in the world. Every coin that leaves the facility passes through multiple stages of preparation, from blanking and annealing the metal planchets to striking with immense pressure under carefully monitored conditions. The journey from raw metal to shiny quarter is itself an engineering marvel. In recent years, the value of high-grade 1990-60 quarters has continued to rise, driven by a combination of scarcity and increasing collector interest as more people discover the hobby of numismatics. Competition for the best examples has intensified. This means that coins once considered just nice uncirculated examples are now being scrutinized for even higher grading potential. The market for such coins is dynamic and prices can spike quickly, especially after record-breaking auction results. For anyone interested in pursuing this treasure hunt, the first step is education. Learn the characteristics of the 1990-60 quarter. Familiarize yourself with what a high-grade example looks like, compare it to lower-grade examples, and understand the role of luster and strike. Collect rolls or mint sets from 1996 and begin examining them under bright light with magnification. Document your finds and consider submitting your best examples for professional grading. Networking with other collectors can open up opportunities to buy, sell, or trade coins that might not be publicly available. The story of the 1990-60 mint mark Washington quarter dollar coin is a reminder that even in the modern era, extraordinary value can be hidden in plain sight. What started as a simple piece of change in the hands of millions has in rare cases transformed into a numismatic treasure worth over $80,000. The combination of history, artistry, rarity, and collector passion ensures that the legend of the 1990-60 quarter will endure for decades to come. So the next time you hold a quarter, take a closer look. You never know if that coin could be part of a remarkable story that blends the rich heritage of American coinage with the excitement of a modern-day treasure hunt, because somewhere out there, possibly in a cash register, a bank roll, or a forgotten jar of change, sits another 1990-60 Washington quarter waiting to be discovered, and perhaps it will be the next one to make headlines and capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. Welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating history of the 2013 P Mint mark Washington quarter dollar coin, a piece of American currency that has captured the attention of collectors across the globe due to its historical significance, its unique features, and its astonishing current market value of $80,725. In order to truly appreciate why this particular coin has become so valuable, we must first go back to understand the long legacy of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. George Washington was not only the first president of the United States, but also a central figure in the founding of the nation. The original quarter featured a profile of Washington on the obverse side, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, and that design became a staple of American currency for decades. Over the years, the quarter has gone through several transformations in design, composition, and minting locations. In the early years, quarters were made primarily from 90% silver and 10% copper, but as silver prices rose in the mid-1960s, the United States Mint shifted to a clad composition of copper and nickel. This change allowed the mint to produce coins at a lower cost while maintaining durability for everyday use. Now let us move forward to the year 2013. The 2013 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched in 2010 to honor national parks and historic sites from every state and territory. This program was a continuation of the commemorative spirit of the State Quarters program, which had been wildly popular from 1999 to 2008. The America the Beautiful Quarters, issued in 2013, featured 5 designs: Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, Great Basin National Park in Nevada, Fort McHenry National Monument, an historic shrine in Maryland, Mount Rushmore National Memorial in South Dakota, and White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. The P Mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary facilities of the United States Mint alongside Denver, San Francisco, and West Point. The Philadelphia Mint has a rich history dating back to its founding in 1792. It has been responsible for producing billions of coins over the centuries, and each P Mint mark coin carries with it the legacy of American minting excellence. In 2013, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Washington quarters, but among them certain rare errors and exceptional quality strikes have become highly sought after by collectors. The most valuable examples of the 2013 P Mint mark Washington quarter are typically those that are in pristine condition, often graded as mint state 67 or higher by professional grading services. Coins of this grade display sharp details, no visible wear, and a strong luster that reflects light beautifully. In some cases, special minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws can dramatically increase a coin's value. For the 2013 P Mint mark quarter, certain rare die varieties and exceptionally well-struck coins have commanded prices reaching as high as $80,725. In recent auctions, collectors prize these coins not just for their rarity, but for their connection to American history and artistry. Each America the Beautiful design tells a story about the location it depicts. For instance, the Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial quarter honors a monument that commemorates the Battle of Lake Erie during the War of 1812 and celebrates lasting peace between Britain, Canada, and the United States. The artistry on the reverse side of the coin captures the monument's grandeur and significance, while the obverse continues to bear the familiar portrait of Washington as reimagined for the modern series. Beyond its design and rarity, the 2013 P Mint mark Washington quarter represents the enduring value of physical currency in a digital age. While many transactions today are conducted electronically, the appeal of coins lies in their tangible connection to history and culture. They can be held, examined, and appreciated in ways that digital currency cannot, and they often become treasured family heirlooms passed down through generations. To understand why one of these quarters could be worth over $80,000, we must also consider the role of coin grading and the collector market. Professional grading services assess coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless coin. A 2013 P Mint mark quarter that achieves a grade of 68 or higher is exceedingly rare and in high demand among elite collectors. These individuals often compete fiercely at auctions, driving prices upward, especially when a coin has exceptional eye appeal and provenance. The current coin market is influenced by several factors, including the overall economy, the availability of rare coins, and the popularity of specific series. The America the Beautiful Quarters program has proven to be highly collectible, and as the years pass, the finest examples of these coins become scarcer in the marketplace. This scarcity, combined with the passion of dedicated collectors, ensures that coins like the 2013 P Mint mark Washington quarter will continue to command impressive prices. Let us also reflect on the minting process itself. Creating a coin of exceptional quality requires precision and care. The planchets must be perfectly prepared, the dies must be properly aligned, and the striking pressure must be consistent. Any deviation in this process can result in flaws or errors. While such errors can sometimes reduce a coin's value, in other cases they can make it more desirable if they are unusual enough to capture the interest of specialists. In the case of the 2013 P Mint Mark Washington quarter, some of the most valuable specimens were struck with dies that produced sharper details than normal, or with planchets that had a slightly different surface texture. These subtle differences can be detected by trained eyes and often become the subject of intense study within the numismatic community. The history of coin collecting itself is a fascinating topic. Coin collecting, also known as numismatics, has been practiced for centuries and has often been called the hobby of kings because in earlier times only the wealthy could afford to collect coins. Today, however, the hobby is enjoyed by people from all walks of life, and the internet has made it easier than ever to research, buy, and sell coins of all kinds. This increased accessibility has helped fuel interest in modern rarities like the 2013 P Mint Mark Washington quarter. As we move through the 21st century, coins like this serve as both historical artifacts and works of art. They remind us of the events, people, and places that have shaped our nation, and they inspire us to look closer at the change in our pockets, because you never know when you might come across something extraordinary. The idea that a coin minted just over a decade ago could be worth more than $80,000 is both astonishing and inspiring, and it highlights the enduring allure of numismatics for anyone hoping to find a valuable 2013 P Mint Mark quarter in circulation. It is important to examine each coin carefully. Look for coins in the best possible condition, ideally with no scratches, dings, or signs of wear. Use a magnifying glass to check for sharp details and potential minting errors. Compare your finds to known examples from reputable coin guides, and consider having your most promising coins professionally graded to determine their true market value. In conclusion, the 2013 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin is far more than just spare change. It is a modern treasure steeped in history, artistry, and craftsmanship. Its connection to the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the skill of the Philadelphia Mint, and the stories it tells about our nation's landmarks make it a coin worth cherishing. And for the rarest, finest examples that have reached a value of $80,725, it stands as a testament to the passion and dedication of collectors who see in these small metal discs a tangible piece of America's heritage.